Hey guys, this is Karine Blanc. Welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about how to meet people where they are, how to meet people where they are spiritually, how to meet people where they are emotionally, and in general, how do you meet people where they are on their journeys? And before I get into the topic, I want to just back up and explain how I got to this topic. And I want to tell you about a couple of experiences that I had this week. So a couple weeks ago, my daughter had an incident at school, and the teacher gave me a call. She brought it to my attention, and it was clear that my daughter and I and her father had to sit down and have a talk about it, right? So in brainstorming with her dad, I was like, well, she's going to have to learn that she can't just do things because her friends are doing them. That's just something she's going to have to learn in life. So we might as well start to ingrain it in her right now. And his response was kind of like, well, I agree with you, but that's not, a child's not really going to get that. We need to explain it to her in a way that she's going to really get it. We need to kind of bring it to her level in a way that she's going to understand and it's going to make sense to her. And when he kind of explained his thought process, I kind of agreed with him. I was like, okay, I actually think that is a better approach than what I had in mind. So we went home, we had the talk with her, and it actually went really well. And then this week, I was having a different conversation with a friend at the office, and we were talking about how to motivate children, mostly older children. I live in Philadelphia. There's an election going on now, and a lot of the conversations are about, how to keep kids in school and, kids from disadvantaged backgrounds. And we were kind of just going through it. There are a lot of speeches about how kids are just so impressionable, with social media and all the information that's out there, and of course my spiritual answer was like, well, kids have to learn to trust themselves and, seek their own approval and not the approval of their peers, And then my friend was like, you have to meet kids where they are. These kids, they want sneakers. They want nice clothes. They want, they want to show their friends that they have certain things. And when he said that, that was kind of like the second time I was hearing this theme of meeting people where they were. And in these two cases, we were referring to children and people younger than us. But it got me thinking just in terms of adults. Not only was I struggling with this concept as it related to children, but it made me realize that I kind of struggle with this in terms of adults. How to meet adults where they are spiritually and emotionally without making them feel like they need to be where I am, or without taking kind of the holier than thou approach to dealing with others. So in that, I came up with 4 tips for how do we meet people where they are right now. So tip number 1, first of all, we have to acknowledge that everyone deserves an opportunity to find their own way. It may be painful to watch someone go through something you've went through, and we always hope that people have less disappointing experiences than we do, right? That's having compassion, that's loving someone, especially when you love someone. It could be painful to watch someone go down this path and in your mind, you're like, I already know how this is going to turn out, and I really don't want this person to go down that path. But why rob this person of the growth they may need to get to the next level, right? Who are we to rob that person of this experience? And I even think about certain habits I used to have. There was nothing anyone could have told me to change my mind, and a lot of things, I could name one example, falling asleep to the TV. Now I would abhor such an activity, but there was a time where I fell asleep with the TV on every night, and that's just where I was in my life at that time. And there's not anything in general wrong with it, but now I found healthier ways to live, healthier ways to fall asleep, more peaceful ways to fall asleep, but I can't look at someone who's still doing that and say like, hey, well, you gotta be where I am, because there are a lot of events that were key to my personal growth and my spiritual growth that allowed me to see that that activity was no longer for me. So we have to acknowledge that people deserve this opportunity of getting where they are. And when I think about my spiritual growth is the most important thing to me. Nothing is more satisfying than becoming aware of more things, more conscious of things, and just the real compassion that results from that. Nothing's more important to me than my spiritual growth. Why would I rob someone of that experience? So number 2, I have to acknowledge that I don't get to pass judgment on other people. I am not judge and jury. I'm not like sitting on a cloud somewhere, dangling the puppet strings, right? I don't get to play judge and jury. It's not only is it not my responsibility, but it really takes away from empathy and compassion to just diminish people because maybe they're going through an experience that you already went through and they're not listening to you. Why should they? They haven't experienced what you've experienced. And once they've been through enough disappointments, we've all been at that point where our backs were just so against the wall, we didn't have a choice but to change. And maybe people get to that point, maybe they don't, maybe they never get there, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not our responsibility to make sure people turn out okay. We can support others, and we can have compassion, we can have empathy, we can listen to them with an open ear. If they ask us for advice, I'll dish it out. I'll be the first one to dish it out. But if they don't, then how can we support people where they are? And 3 is we need to get rid of this resentment, especially when someone changes. Especially for me, I can only speak for myself. I'm so quick to put somebody in a box, right? I'm so quick to label someone, and I just want to kind of like slash this label on someone and then throw them in the box, right? And then when they start to deviate from that, I start to be upset. But I'm not upset at the fact that they're changing, that there's anything wrong with the way they're changing. I'm upset because I already labeled you and now you're changing. So if you change, then I would have been wrong about you. And that's not fair, right? Because let's say I thought someone was super negative, right? And I just give them this title, oh, this person's so negative, and then they start to say something positive. And all of a sudden I feel that resentment, like, oh, now you're positive, like that. It's like, but why? Why condemn someone? This is their growth. This is their journey. Even if maybe you did see something in this person that now they're starting to change a little bit. We don't have the right to condemn others. It could be someone, and a lot of times we feel this resentment when people are changing in a positive way, which is so unfortunate, right? It could be that maybe I thought somebody was selfish, right? And I just gave them this selfish label. You're selfish. That's it. I made up my mind about you. And then I see them do something compassionate. I see them help someone else. And then I feel this anger. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it. Then I feel this anger like, oh, now you're helping people. That's resentment. That feeling we get in our stomach when we see someone do something contrary to how we labeled them, even if it's a great thing. That's just my resentment. That's me not wanting to be wrong. And it's not fair because people are constantly evolving. We are constantly evolving, right? My opinions about people are changing constantly. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be because the people I'm perceiving are changing constantly. And we need to be able to change our minds just like that flow. And 4, it's an honor to watch someone's journey. And this is always what I keep in mind. Maybe you do have that resentment. Maybe you used to think negatively about someone and now you're trying to come around to this person. Now you're trying to say, I guess this person wasn't all that bad. Or maybe the opposite, And one thing I will say, it's truly an honor to watch someone's someone's growth. You know, even that's the joy in being a parent, right? Watching a child grow and just go through all their stages, seeing something they tried to do a million times and they finally get it. So let's come from a place of gratitude. You know, maybe I'm not in a dark place where someone else is. Rather than condemn this person, let me be grateful that, hey, somehow, by some power greater than myself, I got out of this situation. I'm so grateful for that. I'm sure this person will too. And it's an honor to watch people grow. Thank you so much. I will see you all next time. Please check out my website, KarineBlanc.com. I have my personal development course, Mindset Reset.